Hey everybody, welcome back to the Bimmer barn. Today we're going to be tuning my 335i swapped E91 wagon for the first time. Something I'm so excited to do. We've put about 1,500 miles on the car maybe since we replaced the turbos, the rod bearings, all the gaskets, basically a full rebuild on the motor, everything exterior wise. And now I'm ready to tune the car. Almost ready actually. We still need to replace an injector because I got some fault codes recently. It looks like I have an injector failure on cylinder number 4. And then I want to do a bolt check because I'm getting a little bit of like a squeak or clunk from the rear end. I'm thinking it might be like a loose bolt or something. So we're gonna take care of those two things first, and then I promise we're gonna tune the car and get some first impressions driving it around. And then in a later video, assuming that it doesn't blow up, we'll take it to the dyno and do a before and after to see how much power my engine makes at 200,000 miles and how much power it makes tuned. So without further ado, let's go ahead and head right into the video. Now I just finished taking a look at the rear end of the car and I found a couple of loose axle bolts. So we tightened those up and I looked over the rest of the rear subframe. Everything looks to be real tight, real good. Then over in the front end of the car, everything is bone dry. There's no leaks or current issues. And the only check engine light that we have today, again, is from that cylinder 4 misfire and from that injector failure. So we're gonna replace the injector and then do our tuning. And yes, I don't have a new injector. The one that we're gonna be installing is used, but I'm hoping that gets rid of the injector misfire code, hopefully makes it idle a little bit smoother, and that way we can tune it today without problems. But let's find out if these old injectors are going to hold up to the test, and let's go ahead and get right back to work. And now that our injector is not only installed, but also coated, we can go ahead and move on to the tuning process. Now I'm gonna be doing an MHD tune today, and there's a lot of different options to tuning your 335i or N54, but the MHD platform tends to be the simplest, pretty user-friendly to understand, and it's all powered by your phone. And I have an Android phone, which means I just need an adapter to go to my K plus DCAN cable. But if you have an iPhone, then chances are you can get the Wi-Fi adapter and tune your car that way. It's just a little bit more money to get that versus like one of these cables. So the MHD app goes and lets you not only flash maps but also do monitoring, and that's a separate function that you have to pay for. Today we only have the licenses to do the tuning itself, and then the map pack that we're going to use is going to be the stage 2 map pack. I have a couple other VINs on here because I did some tuning for customers' cars, but your app would probably be blank right here until you go and activate a new license. It's really easy to do this process. Again, they send you like an email with the instructions and such, but since again we already activated my licenses, all we have to do is connect to the car, select that we're gonna flash a stage 2 map. We're gonna select the octane, or we're gonna start with stage 2. Maybe we go to stage 2 plus after we know that, you know, it's gonna run good on stage 2. I decided not to buy the super license because that was like $300 to get all these maps, and I decided not to get the stage 1 maps because we have all the mods needed for the stage 2. So again, the tuning process is gonna be pretty specific to your car and what mods you have installed. On my car, I not only have the VRSF downpipes and intercooler, but we also have their charge pipe and the inlets that go to the turbos. I just replaced the turbos, I just did the rod bearings, we just did the walnut blasting, or should I say the intake valve cleaning. So basically this 200,000 mile N54 motor, although it does have higher mileage, I think it's maybe highway, and it's been fully reserviced. So I'm hoping that it's gonna run well on stage 2. My only worry is that the injectors that I have, they're kind of old, and if you had index 12s, the car would probably run a lot better, but hopefully after replacing that injector, which was an index 9, we'll have better luck. So let me go ahead and connect up to the car. I'm gonna do this really quick, and then we'll soon be on the road test driving this car to see what that stage 2 map feels like. Now, while you're doing this tuning process, I'd recommend putting your phone in a do not disturb mode so that it doesn't accidentally get out of this screen or turn off for any reason. You don't want it draining the battery either. You want to make sure that you have a good connection with the OBD port, maybe even like a trickle charger on the battery, because you don't want the battery to die. And you also want to make sure that you have your air conditioning off and also your lights off as well. So just like you were doing any like programming on the car, because again, we're fully removing the software off of the DME and installing new stuff, basically the same as the factory software but just modified. And so for that reason, the first tuning function, when you go from stage 0 to any other map, it's gonna take about 15 minutes. When you go from like a map 1 to a map 2, or you already have the MHD installed in your car, then it'll be a lot faster to do map switching, probably more like 3 to 5 minutes. But the first time, like I said, it's gonna take 15 minutes. So it looks like it's almost 50% done here, and we just crossed the 50% mark. So I'm gonna go ahead, let it do its thing, and then we'll do a first start. And now at the end here, it says success, turn off the ignition, and then wait 30 seconds. So we'll go ahead and do that. And then I'd also recommend when you put the ignition back in, before you start the engine, I think wait 10 seconds in case, you know, when you do a full flash like this, the adaptations can reset. And if your throttle valve has been reset, then it'll, you know, be choppy at startup. So you want to let that thing calibrate. But like I said, 30 seconds, and then we're going to go on a test drive here. All right, there we go. That's a good sign. Now this reminds me of those days when I used to do tuning for customers' cars. If you're new to the channel, maybe you're not aware, I used to work as a BMW technician at a couple different shops. You know, I never went to school or anything fancy like that, but just the experience and working under some master technicians and really absorbing what they had to teach me is what allowed me to excel in the automotive industry. And that's what allowed me to do what I do today between, you know, YouTube and restoring cars. So I used to tune a lot of people's cars, and now I just get to tune my own. So I can't wait to see once we get on some open road here what sort of power we got from doing that stage 2 map. One possible thing I'd be worried about would be maybe having like a loose coupler or something. A lot of times when you go up in power and you're, you know, putting more stress on the motor, you tend to find the weak points. So right now, going through my head, I'm thinking about the injectors, which are bad. Well, not bad, they're old, you know, we haven't figured out if they're all bad yet. And maybe, like, you know, like I said, the couplers, you know, they're gonna be going under some serious boost, more than they're used to. So let's go ahead and find out here. I'll put the windows down for you guys. Whoa. Oh boy, that is definitely a boost leak. I hope you guys can hear that. It's like someone's blowing, you know, if you blow like on a piece of grass, you can make it whistle. That's exactly what it sounds like right now. Or like a whoopee cushion, a really high-pitched whoopee cushion. It's got more power for sure, but with that boost leak, I don't want to really push it too much because I don't want anything to blow off while we're driving the car. And unfortunately, I see some black smoke behind us too, so don't want to make it too obvious. Wow. I gotta show you guys the smoke behind me because this thing is rolling coal. But it's fast, wow. All right, so let's go ahead and figure out where that boost leak's coming from. Probably just need to tighten down all those hose clamps, and we'll go out for another drive here.
Moments later.
This one was definitely loose. Damn, my bad. All right, let's try it out. All right, so now we've got take 2. We've tightened up those clamps, and I've also got a GoPro hooked up. Hopefully we don't lose it. Here we go. Wow. Guys, I'm not joking right now. That's like fast. That's like, you gotta be careful about how hard you put down your foot on the pedal. This is really awesome. the whole car just like lifts from the front end. I mean, I have stock suspension and stuff, so what do you expect? But you just feel the whole car lift with the power as it starts building up the boost. Probably get another good little pull right here. Let me turn off the traction control this time. Although these wheels are so big, I don't think they're gonna lose traction. Well guys, I don't think it's smoking as much as it was before. You know, it could just be the adaptations learning to the new tune. It was definitely running rich before, so maybe we just cleaned out the valves a little bit. There was some built up oil or something. But I mean, overall guys, I'm super happy. And we haven't even gotten a check engine light or a misfire, which is what I was worried about with being on like mixed injectors. You know, I'm not really sure the condition. They're not index 12. So yeah, I'm very, very happy with the results. And definitely stay tuned too, because we're gonna drive the car a little bit like this. I wanna do a couple other, you know, minor modifications. I wanna really dial in this alignment and take a look over some other things. So definitely stay tuned for the next video with this car, where we're gonna take it to the dyno and get some real world measurements of how fast this car was before and how fast it is now. And we might even do a stage 2 plus map, which would give us more power than this one. That would be totally insane. Let me know if you guys wanna see that in the comments down below. So that's going to conclude our video for today, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching. If you did, be sure to leave a like or a comment down below and subscribe to the channel if you're new and you haven't yet. As always, I hope everyone has an amazing day, and we'll see you next time.